music, TV, movies, oh so bright. Join us for a blast tonight. Sister and brother rocking the flow, sharing all the things you need to know. Kathy and Kenny always in the mix. Pop culture, fun, fix to fix. Pop culture kids, podcast crew. Tune in and let the topics move. Kathy and Kenny make it fun. Pop culture talk for everyone. Sit for everyone. I brought some for everyone. Pop culture kids, podcast crew. Tune in and let the topics move. Kathy and Kitty make it fun. Pop culture talk for everyone.
It's Saturday night
Time for your weekly dose of pop culture.
with Kathy and Kenny. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. It is Pop Culture Kids coming to you from the north and the wait. It is a little different tonight. As you might notice, I am rocking the show solo, which we usually don't do. Usually we just cancel. And I probably could have canceled tonight, but what the heck? I'm, sitting here hanging out by myself, so I figure I would go on. What's that saying? The show must go on. Yeah, like it or not. So I decided to go ahead and hit the live button and come live. Kenny, unfortunately, is not with us tonight because he is performing at a show. So he probably has his bass Janet or maybe even the electric Langston. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which is which, but he has named his musical instruments and he is performing tonight. So he is not with us. So good evening, Cousin Lisa. Yes, it is Resurrection Sunday. And of course, for those of you who are of faith, today is Easter Sunday. And I'm sorry, people. I mean, I love your Cadbury eggs and your bunnies and all that other stuff. But if you get down to the heart of it, it is a celebration of Christ who has risen and again, and that has taken the burden of all our sins. So, for those of you who celebrate, again, hopefully this was an enjoyable day for you. I know I started mine early. I attend virtual services with Enum that is based in Philly, and again, it's just because that's where I'm from. So I actually was up for their sunrise service, which they did air, which I was kind of blessed to take part in that as well as the regular service. And then Bible study with my family, and we do it thanks to the interwebs. The technology that we have available to us today is unbelievable. The fact that we can do video calls. I had a meeting because I'm also on the committee that works on Juneteenth, which is coming up. June 19th is the actual kind of official celebration date. And I know during our previous administration, it was turned into a national holiday. Unfortunately, where I am in North Carolina, we don't get it as one of our holidays. In fact, where most people get Easter Monday off, we don't. We do have a teacher work day, So I probably will be working. But we did get Good Friday off, which kind of surprised me because I don't think we've always gotten Good Friday off. So I am reveling in the 3-day weekend and I decided to cook. Okay, I didn't cook fancy. It's just I had some ground beef and I wanted to make like a pasta sauce so that I could put it over different things because it's just me. So now that I've cooked all this pasta sauce, I got to figure out a way to freeze it because, yeah, I can't eat it all in one or two sittings and I don't want it to go bad. So I'm going to freeze that when I'm done because I can make some pasta, put it over some pasta or rice or I don't know. Knowing me, I have like a baked potato and I just want to throw it in a baked potato and call it a night. But that's just me. And for some reason, I made banana pudding, not like from scratch banana pudding because I just was being lazy, but just using like some Jello banana pudding mix, but I had, 2 bananas that looked like they were going bad, so I also had some Nilla wafers, so I'm like, "Oh, wait, all I need is the banana pudding mix, and I could do some banana pudding real quick." So I made, like, a little single serve thing of banana pudding, but I digress, which is probably why I shouldn't do a show by myself without Kenny. Believe it or not, I think he does anchor me because without him, I would run on and on and on. But as we do, the way we do, we're going to do a little pop culture news because, well, why not? I don't have Kenny, but I still want to keep our format and keep us going. Oh, and I also changed cameras. So it would have been nice to let myself know that, hey, there's another camera you need to look at. Ah, help me. Just help me. Pray for me. In any case, in pop culture news, let's see, Wendy's versus Katy Perry. I don't know whether, well, again, I'm just learning about this because I wasn't aware of like the Blue Origin flight. I heard bits and pieces of it, but I just doesn't don't know where. Oh wait, oh, okay, okay. So Lisa made a spinach quiche and fruit cocktail for dessert, and I don't know something about the holidays. I just want me some banana pudding. You know what would be good? Banana. What's really good if you can get like a piece of chocolate cake and a little bit of banana pudding instead of ice cream with it. Just a little bit of banana and chocolate. There's something about that. Anyway, um, and I've been eating fruit, oranges and grapes for some reason all day, but don't even get me started with that. In any case, in the news, Wendy's versus Katy Perry. I wasn't even aware, and it's my fault because I haven't been watching the news or been as attentive to what's going on in the news of late. I can probably take it back to the day after election, and then I was just like, uh, yeah, I don't need to know what happened or what went wrong. Although I guess I need to pay attention to some of the stuff that's going on because it can be pretty intense. But evidently, there was an all female flight. And one of the issues I have with it personally is so only the rich and famous get to partake in this, but it is what it is. Anyway, I think, in addition to Gayle King and Katy Perry, and there were some other, I think Jeff Bezos' wife was on there. And I don't know all the people who participated, but I do know it was an all female crew, went to space. And I think Wendy's, who usually does post some pretty kind of funny and iconic like X posts, and I'm calling it X. I'm used to calling it Twitter, but I guess it's not Twitter anymore. It's X. In any case, they made a comment about sending Katy Perry back uh, to space or having her abducted or something. So throwing her a lot of shade, but I guess that is the price you pay when your fame buys you a spot on a plane that or a rocket ship that other people don't have access to. So, but that to me also um, symbolizes kind of where we're heading. That we are going to be a world of haves and have-nots, and The haves will, you know, get to take a rocket ship and be out of here, while the have nots are going to be, hey, doing our thing here on Earth, or what's going to be left of it by the time we finish ravaging it. And I know people are always saying, save the planet, save the planet. I'm like, the planet's going to be here. You mean save yourself? Because some of the things that we do, I think, aren't kind to the environment. And again, the rocks, the mountains, the streams, all of it will be here. We may not. Again, more important now than ever to hold on to your faith, because all right, see, that's why I need Kenny, because otherwise I'd be doom and gloom. I'd be telling you that, oh, Wink Martindale died and all this kind of stuff, but no, 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 no. I'm going to go on to our next piece of pop culture news, and I think this is actually breaking. Billy Ray Cyrus, who, and again, I know he's probably big in country, and maybe because I don't know country, I don't know everything he's done since Achy Breaky Heart, but I'm sorry, he is always going to be Mr. Achy Breaky Heart. I believe he did appear on that, and this is why I need Kenny. Oh my God, don't tell him I said that I need him, but I do, because again, he has young girls and he had to spend his time watching Nickelodeon. So he's more up to date on, Hannah Montana than I can ever be. But I think Billy Ray Cyrus was on that show. But evidently, him and Elizabeth Hurley are now an item. And yeah, so I guess that's newsworthy. Because they posted some, or she posted it on Twitter. So I guess they are dating. And I know it seems like it wasn't, it was just last year where he announced his divorce. But there you go. But Elizabeth Hurley, and a lot of people I think know her because I guess she does not always pick the best man. Because I think at one point she was dating Hugh Grant, and when he got arrested, um, let's see, how do you say this and not get censored on YouTube? But in any case, doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing with somebody who wasn't quite what he thought they were, in a car for some cash. In any case, after that kind of public humiliation, I think they broke up. And I thought she was married to somebody else. I don't know, but evidently that. Oh, you know what? Maybe I have the wrong person, because I thought she was married to Daniel Craig, but I could have that wrong. My pop culture radar is rusty. And like I said, without Kenny, I have no filter. I have no idea. But evidently, for Easter, they have posted a picture together. So they are officially a couple, Billy Ray Cyrus and Elizabeth Hurley. Who knew? Uh, Also in culture, pop culture news. Oh, that's going to clip nice for the podcast. In pop, this. Oh, gotta make it fun. Gotta make it fun because, it's Sunday night. We're just hanging out. Let me know where you're hanging out from in the comments. Usually our show comes from the North Carolina, and South Jersey. But again, Kenny is not with us. He is performing a show, and he gave me the details to share. But if you're watching me, you're obviously not at the show. And if you're at the show, you're enjoying it, having a good time. So we wish him luck with that performance. I think it's somewhere up in North Jersey, actually, because he will travel all over Jersey to perform, and that's awesome. All right, and our final news story: I see drunk people. I kind of liked, not, I didn't like this story, but I got kind of, you know how you fall down these rabbit holes on the interwebs. It happens. You don't mean for it to happen, but it will happen. And I fell down a rabbit hole on the interwebs, and I'm trying to bring up the screenshot, and I cannot find it now because I cannot. Sorry. All right, give me a second so I can bring it up. In any case, I was on the interwebs and I said, I see dead people because evidently the little boy that everybody knows from The Sixth Sense and Forrest Gump, I guess he played Forrest Gump's son in Forrest Gump. Evidently, he was doing things he shouldn't have been doing. And that kind of ties into what we're going to talk about a little bit tonight. And was arrested uh, recently for alcohol and cocaine charges, which is kind of scary bad. But in this clip, you can hear him saying, "I'm an American," and I have the volume off because I'm not trying to get anybody's copyright strikes. But evidently, they're showing, and I think if you look it up, him being handcuffed. But it's Haley Joel Osment, who was the little boy. He played Forrest Gump's son, as well as the lead in The Sixth Sense, with the I See Dead People, as well as what other movie was he in? I mean, he's had a lot of movies, uh, but but evidently this was not good. This was at like a snow resort, so I kind of think he might have been drinking, and I think somebody probably like ratted on him or busted him before he went out and got in a car, thank goodness, so that he wasn't driving around like that, because that would have been like scary. Because again, if you're an adult and you are going to take of beverages, that hey, that is your right, that's your prerogative. I i am not going to account for any moscato that might be in this house at this moment, but I do know if I'm enjoying it, I'm not driving. But evidently, they found um, not just that he was drinking, but also I think cocaine was found as well. And just, I guess, reinforcing that whole thing with actors, child actors, that I just feel really bad for because I've been reading a lot of the coverage and things about the Diddy trial as well, and how they're trying to put it off, but also that what's it? Nick Carter's brother, Aaron Carter, might have been a victim of Sean Puff Daddy Combs, as well as Justin Bieber. And you see these guys with the tattoos all over their face and or bodies, and just the drugs and abuse that they put their bodies through. And part of it probably is to try to cover up some kind of trauma. And that's what I feel what happens to a lot of like child actors. And I mentioned that because again, Aaron Carter was a young child star when he first started out. So some of some of what Haley Joel Osment might be suffering from now might be as a result of having that early fame, and again not having it now that he is an adult. So that could be a lot to try to adjust to. All right. Oh, Ed Brown in the house and coming through with the facts. Let me see if I can bring them up here. And I am going to see if I, yeah, since I have the space on my screen, I'm going to try to bring up the comments. I just got to remember to adjust them next week when we're back. Okay, so Elizabeth was married once to Aaron Nayar, the Gossip Girl alumni, and the business man got married in 2007, hosting one celebration in England and the second in India, and they were divorced in 2011 after 4 years of marriage. Okay, so I don't know why I thought she was with uh, Daniel Craig. Oh man, so he was charged with cocaine possession and public intoxication after his arrest on April 8th. So yeah, again, I just feel bad for, like I said, for those like celebrities, child stars, because a lot of times with child stars, they don't ask for the fame. They don't ask to be out in the public. It's stuff that a lot of times their parents. Now, not, I mean, some kids do, and some make the transition. I think of people like Regina King. Like, she's made the transition. Some make the transition, but it gets bumpy along the way. I mean, call Lindsay Lohan, ask her how's it going. She's not had a good time of it. And then again, on top of that, I just wonder, um, the adults in Hollywood, are they being good to uh, these people? Oh wait, Kenny, love you guys. What do you mean? It's just me though. I actually put in the comments. I did copy the link and I'll put it in there if somebody does want to come on and join and kind of step in and be Kenny for today or for a little while. And as I get to our topic, as we talk about what we're supposed to be talking about today, and I thought, and again, given it's Easter, uh, oh, okay. Oh, goody. You know what? Kenny is at this event, but he has his volume down, so he can't hear what we're saying about him. Now, if he can read lips, it would be bad. But this is going to be a weird hour for me, or at least another weird 20 minutes, whatever we have left, because again, I don't usually get to talk. That's what we can say about Kenny since he's not here. No, I'm joking. But hey, good luck on your show. Let's send him a message since he can't hear. So let's send him some good luck on your show. So we'll shout out him some love so that he gets that while he is performing and kind of listening in backstage, going, "What the heck is she doing in my absence? Where is my picture? My picture is supposed to be over here, and it's gone." Oh, you know what? I got my book and everything. It's actually it's my Bible study, but I didn't realize that was in frame. Probably need to move my camera over so you don't see all the background junk. Anyway, tonight's show. It is Easter Sunday, and it is also Lisa's saying hi to you. So since you're not here, sending you a shout out. It is Easter Sunday. It is April 20th. And I saw the funniest clip on Facebook with Snoop Dogg dressed in a bunny outfit, saying when Easter falls on 420. I had to kind of dive into this to kind of see what the point is, because I didn't get why 420 was called 420 or why it was so popular and why people associated it with pot or marijuana. And that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit tonight is pot in pop culture. And am I an expert? By no means. Um, I'm not like one of those folks who will say, "Oh, I never inhaled," because I, I was young. Okay, people have a past. So yes, I have enjoyed the wacky weed. Do I now? No. At 60, no. Unless I get an ailment and I need that medical brand, maybe. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about too, because a lot of people, when you say things like weed or marijuana, and they get all or even cannabis, but there is a medical application for it, and it is helpful for some people who suffer different conditions. So, um, I now I have my opinions and my little soapbox that, oh, you know what? Kenny's not here. I can get on my soapbox. You know what? I think our country has spent a lot of time criminalizing it, and it has negatively, I feel, impacted uh, Black, brown, and poor people, as opposed to, and again, I know they say it's a gateway to harder drugs, but there are some people, and even some older folks, who do enjoy medical marijuana, maybe not to smoke it, maybe to chew it as a gummy or um, as a relief for pain in some cases. But I wanted to dig into this and find out, well, why is this 420 thing? Um, where did it come from? And I thought it was the police code for marijuana. 420 means, okay, people are smoking marijuana. I think it has been used. I don't know if it's universal with all police stations. And do they all use the same codes? I wish I had a police officer listening or somebody who could tell me and give me some insight. Because, all I know about the police is one Adam 12, see the man, one Adam 12. Does anybody remember that? That's going to make you feel old. If you remember one Adam 12. In any case, I thought 420 was the police code. And from what I read or researched online, it seems like some police do use that as a code for, marijuana being present. But more than one source referenced it coming from, and I mean, I read a Time magazine article as well as Rolling Stone, as well as Wikipedia, which I know Wikipedia should not be the end all be all to source everything, but it's the internet age. So that's what I looked to first. But evidently in the 70s, there were some teens that went to a high school in San Rafael, California, and about 1973, that they had a code that they would meet at a certain spot, I guess behind the bleachers or wherever one goes to partake of such things at 420. They go at 420 because by then all the sports and activities, I guess, were done. So they had time to, do their thing. Oh, see, now I don't, well, again, because we're both, gosh, that sounds so weird to say we're in our 60s now, but yeah, we are in our 60s now. And next month, whew, you'll be turning the page in just a month's time. But one Adam 12, yeah, that's a show that see, you're an X or Gen X or Boomer if you can remember like shows like One Adam 12, Quincy. Oh, see, that's the other thing. See, I don't have Kenny here, and Kenny, his motto is, "We only have an hour." All right, we got a list, but we only have an hour. But anyway, I was telling you a story about where they got the 420. But evidently, this group of kids would meet by the wall to enjoy their cannabis. And oh my God, Ed is bringing me back. He's one item 12, an emergency. I remember emergency. That's before St. Elsewhere, before ER. You had emergency. That was your first like hospital drama. We kicking it old school tonight. We're going way, way back. Uh that is a good one. But anyway, these kids, and evidently they were called themselves the Waldos uh, because they hung out by this wall, and 420 was their time to enjoy their little bit of cannabis. One of them, I believe, was a roadie or knew the roadie for the Grateful Dead. And I think the Grateful Dead actually had a song called Waldo. And I'm just going to get my little slideshow thingamajiggy going. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Somebody's calling. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I do have somebody on the line. Let me pick up. And I don't see anything. And I don't know how to bring our guest in. Let me try. Let me see if oh geez, I don't even have my cameras all, uh, let's see if I can bring my guests in. I can't. That's not it. I apologize. I'll get it right. Uh-oh, let's see. Hello. Let's see. I don't see who that person is. I'm trying to bring them in. I can't. Why isn't this working for me? Crap, crap, crap. I can't add this guest. Uh-oh. All right. I got something coming in. Oh, hey, Kenny.
Can you see me? I'm
We get
dark. I look really dark.
you look really,
Wait a minute.
really dark.
I know there's no other light on me. I look really dark. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let
I
me
can't
see
get
if I
another
can.
light on.
Okay, I can't. I don't know if I can adjust you at all.
Yeah, I can't even adjust me. Okay, hold on a second. Here you go. Okay, so I got behind this green light. Okay, hold on. Can you hear me? I got behind this green light. Why is that happening to me? Okay, I got behind this green light so I can be seen better. And I'm sorry I couldn't make it over there. I'm at a 420 event, and next week I'll be back. But Kathy's doing a great. What was that you were I couldn't hear it. What was that you were showing earlier? The guy getting arrested.
Oh, that was Haley Joel Osment from The Sixth Sense and um, Forrest Gump. You know, it's
Oh yeah,
under
he
that
got
whole,
arrested.
child stars gone wrong kind of vibe.
Oh, he got arrested. Really?
He
Oh,
got arrested
nice.
for being intoxicated and having possessing some happy powder. He had some cocaine.
Oh, that little guy, man. That's the guy that was in Pay It Forward.
Oh yes, Pay It Forward. I love that. You know what? I couldn't remember that movie. I actually love that movie. I know, Kevin Spacey is on the outs with everybody, but I love the idea of that movie. Just the whole idea of paying it forward, of helping people, and instead of them paying you back, they got to help somebody else. I just think that's a beautiful sentiment, and we need some more of that. More, more, please.
Uh, yeah.
So, have you been on
So
yet?
I that, huh?
Have you been on stage yet?
Yeah, I already performed.
Oh, okay. Cool, cool.
I performance,
Did you have
but that's
Janet?
okay. I had Janet.
Which that's
No,
your
that's
acoustic
okay.
bass, right?
Yeah, I brought Langston too, though, so
Oh, you were prepared for everything.
I was prepared for everything. Yeah, I actually had a shorter set than I thought I was gonna have, so it's cool.
Okay.
It's cool. I'm a lot of good people here, so
I
but
hadn't
you know
even
what?
gotten
I'm
into
going
my list. I didn't
off.
even
You can barely see.
I haven't gotten into my list. I just didn't know whether you had something to add. I actually had a list broken down into four different categories of singers, actors, movies, and TV shows that feature the wacky weed.
Oh wow! I know you got Shaggy on that list, right?
Oh, you know what? I didn't have Shaggy from Scooby Doo. No,
Shaggy on that list.
because that's a kids show. But
Shaggy. No, Shaggy. We all know Shaggy was high. Come on.
How true? How true? You are so right.
You know, you know, just like everybody knew that Paul Lynde in the Center Square was gay, we all knew Shaggy was high. I'm just saying.
Paul Lynn was gay. Things we all know.
um, yeah, things we all know, but they just never really said. So that's important. Um, yeah, and who else was high? Oh, you know who was high? On TV and movie, right? On TV.
I was on TV, movies, and I did a category. I haven't started yet. I'm about to get. I just
Oh,
finished pop culture
because
news.
because on TV, How I Met Your Mother, when you
Uh-huh.
tell the kids they were eating sandwiches.
Oh, that was a code word for
Yeah, they were eating sandwiches.
we're having sandwiches. That's nice.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go because I gotta get back in and help with the sound, and we're about to start up again.
Okay. Where is your
God bless
show? Because I mentioned it and I didn't give the details because I forgot.
you. Okay, we're doing it next week. I'll be back next week. We're gonna talk about celebrities, characters that you would like to hang out with, that you think would be cool to hang out with.
Okay. All right.
That's
That
it.
is next
All right,
week. All right.
that's next week.
Okay.
Kathy, you finish next week.
We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.
All right. All right. Nice shot from my brother from the same mother, Kenny, live on his show. I was trying to get him to plug his show, but he didn't plug his show. In any case, my topic for tonight. Oh, you know what? I didn't. Okay, now my list is gonna kind of stink because I'm forgetting all these good ones. That is a good one. Um, Christopher Lloyd as Reverend Jim Ignatowski on Taxi. You are so right. Now, and again, I didn't use like a lot of different media sources to come up with the list. I just kind of I, some of it was from my own memory, and some of the actors I did do some Google searching because I wasn't familiar with as many of these people. So I'm like, oh wait, I knew like okay, let me stop talking and take a look at my list. And of course, the wrong screen came up because hey, all right, here we go. As I take a dive into pop culture on this 420 show. And I wanted to start with music, and I tried to get AI to help me out. And I said to generate like a cartoon image picture of famous musicians who, indulge. I have no idea who half these people are. Like, I recognize Bob Marley, maybe, and Willie Nelson, and maybe that other guy's supposed to be Snoop Dogg, but I don't know who all the other folks are in the background. So AI ain't always hitting it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Sometimes AI gets it, sometimes they don't. Um, I wish I got the. Uh, Anyway, I wish I had gotten that one right. Okay, let's see. Why isn't it moving on to my next slide? Even though I've moved on, the picture has not moved on. Oh, okay. I'm having one of those kind of days, so bear with me, people. Bear with me as I figure it all out. I'll figure it all out. It's a little different when I'm by myself because usually I can put Kenny on and I can go do something. But I know one thing I can do is to tell you thank you. Thank you for hanging out with me on a Sunday night as I try to muddle my way through this without Kenny. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching us on YouTube, by all means, give us that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. We are at 99 subscribers, so be that 100. That would be so awesome. Last week we did the Poetry Month celebration, had a lot of great poets on, and Kenny gave away a lot of our t-shirts. But if you're that 100, we're going to make sure we get a t-shirt out to you. Also, you can find us on kathyandkenny.com. Any place you get your podcast, you can always check us out. But again, we appreciate you being here. Thanks for hanging out with the Pop Culture Kids. As Kenny said, next week we're going to be talking about those characters that you would want to hang with. Me, I always wanted to be in that Brooklyn apartment on Living Single. I think that would have been so cool to be hanging out with, Khadijah and Regine and all those folks. But I'm sorry, none of the apartments or the people I knew had those big kind of apartments in Brooklyn. But hey, whatever, because that they had stairs. Maybe they were in a house. In any case, anyway, what characters would you want to hang out with? I think I know who Kenny's going to say. He's probably going to say like Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother, because that's the kind of life he's bound to be living. So let me see if I can get my overlays where I need them and to see if I can have them show up as I need them. All right. So yeah, here's the one I didn't know. I didn't know about Louis Armstrong. And evidently Louis Armstrong was partaking of a lot of the little wacky weed. And evidently, hey, I guess it is a wonderful world from where he was sitting. But I'm sure a lot of artists back in the day would have been like that. Oh, Donna, you are right. We were in Brooklyn Heights, weren't we? Okay. Um, okay, but again, not as cool as the Living Single girls. We're having not 420 moments and looking at those artists who I guess celebrate, of course, musically, the Grateful Dead. As I mentioned in the story I told earlier with those kids, that one of them was friends with somebody who was a roadie or a drummer of the Grateful Dead and wound up telling them about their little adventure of meeting at 420, and they were by the wall, so they called themselves the Waldos. And evidently, the Grateful Dead has a song called Waldo. I don't know their music, so I apologize that I can't be more fluent with it. But I tell you, so yeah. Oh wow, those are the day. And you know what? It's 2025, so that was like over 30 years ago. Wow. I'm just feeling all kinds of old today. All right. Of course, everybody knows Snoop Dogg, and I think I didn't put Martha Stewart in the mix too, but she's probably just as well known. Uh, hey, if she's hanging with Snoop, no doubt you're known by who you associate with. Of course, Bob Marley of Bob Marley and the Wailers, but I think there was something about the Rastafarian lifestyle. And again, like I said, there's some people who do enjoy cannabis and it is for medical purposes, whether it's to soothe the arthritis or, to calm the bipolar. I'm I'm not judging, I'm just saying. Okay. And of course, Willie Nelson, you are always on my mind. Or actually, no, that was his song. And On the Road Again, a couple of his songs made a big hit. There were some other artists that I'm sure, and I mean, well, I wasn't stepping it up to the hardcore, drugs, because again, we did a whole show about the 27 Club of all these musicians and things who died at 27, many from drug overdoses, like Amy Winehouse or or if you look at Jimi Hendrix and folks, but we're not talking the hardcore stuff. We're just talking about the little smoky, wacky, wicky weed. Oops, that was a slide from last. That's when your lazy host doesn't edit over the slides. So yes, you do get a bit of Rocky 3. That was from last week's show when we were talking about music that makes a movie, or that songs that are known for in the movie. You can find that on our YouTube channel if you want to take a look back. When you talk about actors, I thought this was kind of funny that I found this little gift that had Bill Maher and Snoop Dogg. So, okay, let's take a guess. What are they talking about? Okay. So, and also I think Woody Harrelson. Now, I thought there were some incidences with Matthew McConaughey. I wasn't sure. I didn't put him in that category, but I think one of the things to take away, or to not necessarily take away, but to emphasize, is that in addition to oops, that was in addition to um I lost. I had a train of thought. I was at the station, and it just totally left me. Um, I think there is a lot of like pot use and pot references in pop culture. Whether you're looking at some of the movies from like the New Jack Swing era filmmaking in the mid to late '90s, to even on television shows. I I'm thanking Ed because I forgot all about the guy from Taxi. But again, you weren't quite sure what substances he was partaking of, because it seems like he had a lot. Uh, Lisa, this is so true. Bill Clinton claims that he didn't inhale, but yeah, right. And I don't know, for the folks who've tried, if you can do it without doing a little bit of inhaling. That's all I'm saying. In any case, uh, maybe not being as truthful as he should be. I think, but to another point, I was about to make, or trying to make, who knows if I make a point or not, but that a lot of times, uh, just things that are a part of our life do bleed through into pop culture. It becomes more part of pop culture. And when I was researching this, now I know one source I I read said that there were 39 of the 50 states that have legalized the use of cannabis or marijuana for recreational use, not necessarily medical use. And that's everyone from Alaska, Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware. I have a list. Here I go. Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Montana, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Ohio, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, and Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, all have it for medical use. I was also or recreational use. Also, it listed Hawaii, in one article listed Hawaii, Louisiana, Mississippi, New Hampshire, and North Dakota also had it available for medical as well as recreational use. And then there were a few states where it was that it was totally illegal to even have it, like that, not even for your medical use, not even to heal your pain. And I think North Carolina was listed as one, which is weird because I have been seeing signs and posts for dispensaries. So, uh, I don't get it. I'm not sure why that is, but evidently it is. It is. In any case, let me get back to my screen share if I can find it. And I don't know where I put it. Yeah. My eyes, they're so bad. Okay. Here we go. I cannot find it now. I beg my pardon. Please forgive me. I did tell you Happy Easter, right? Okay, Happy Easter. He is risen. And let's see if I can find my screen share. Oh, here it is. Okay, here we go. All right, I was talking about actors. In addition to actors, there were also TV shows that featured as a core part of there. And I know Ed mentioned Jim Ignatowski from Taxi. That's a probably good example of a character. I'm trying to think. I mentioned these two shows because I know I used to have Showtime, and I know one time I went down a rabbit hole because I missed like the last two seasons, watching the last two seasons of Weeds. And I think I liked the earlier seasons. I thought it was a funny show when it first started out. It was kind of funny and interesting, but it took some kind of dark turns and really was showing you some of the adverse effects or things that could happen as this suburban mom, once her husband died to make ends meet, actually started selling marijuana to, her little Karen type community. There's another show on Netflix that I found listed in my research online called Disjointed, and I have not seen that show. Looks like it might be interesting, and again, just from the mix of cast, I'd be interested. I might need to check out that while I still have a Netflix subscription. I don't know. These subscriptions are killing me, people. Somebody tell me, how do you manage? Because between I think there was something I wanted to see, so I got Paramount Plus, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to do it for the year. But then it pops up the next year and they've already taken the money out of my account. So I'm like, oh crap, I got it for another year. I need to stop it. But I'm like, well, I've already paid for it. And then like Max and I thought having cable, shouldn't you be covered? But in my cable package, it's just the basics. So I don't get anything else. And then if there's a show I want to see on Hulu, so now I got to get Hulu. Who knows? And then Netflix. I think I have Netflix as well. So I don't know. I got to give up some of these things. If you feel me, please let me know. How do you manage? Because the subscriptions are ridiculous. How many Happy Meals could I be enjoying? But no, I'm paying for all these prescriptions, subscriptions, as well as the prescriptions. But finally, the last thing I wanted to share with you or talk a little bit about as far as pot and pop culture. And if there is some, because I know the taxi one was a good one that I did miss. Let me know in the comments. But the movies, and of course, the definitive movie for pot and pop culture has got to be Cheech and Chong. It was kind of what they were known for, kind of bringing that to the forefront of pop culture in the 70s, and their movie Up in Smoke, which I gotta confess, I have never. I don't want to say I've never seen it. I don't know whether I've seen it all the way through, because back in the days when you did have cable and you wound up having like Showtime or Cinemax or like two or three like premium services that came with the cable already, and you didn't have to pay like a ridiculous amount extra for. Um, I used, I think I've seen bits and pieces of the movie, not really the whole movie. I almost want to put Rocky Horror Picture Show on this list because it seems like it's one of those movies that, when people actually watched it, they had to partake of, you know, the happy wacky weed in order to like how in the world do people start talking back to the movie? Like when did that become a thing? And how could it not have been inspired by people enjoying themselves a little bit too much, and bringing all the props and stuff to the movie? I need to dig into the origin of that because that would be very interesting to figure out. Oh, Lisa, that's a good one. I forgot all about that one with David Chappelle. I should have known. Half baked. Okay, see, that's what happens when Kenny's not here to do the list. Okay, people, you get a subpar list when it's just me kind of searching the interwebs trying to come up with these items. I Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke. I also, and maybe because I've seen this movie so many times, I know that smoking the marijuana played a big part in the Big Lebowski because the dude abides. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I can only talk about the Big Lebowski because Kenny's not here. Because even though I brought him a copy of the movie the last time I went home, and I'm like, here, you got to watch the Big Lebowski because it's the Big Lebowski. Is it a great movie? No. It's got some funny performances and funny moments. And if you don't like the Coen brothers, you're probably not going to like it. But I recommend. Okay. It's on my list. Okay. And finally, this movie definitely kind of started, I think, the whole. This movie I thought was interesting because as I was reading about it, it's Reefer Madness from 1938. And I think originally, or that's the original, there was a musical remake. And I don't know, I imagine there's probably a Broadway or off Broadway musical, but I believe a musical take on this original movie. I believe it aired on Showtime. It could have been another pay service, but again, it was at a time when before I had to pay 20, $30 a month per subscription service, which okay, is it bothering me? Yes, just a little. Just a little annoyed. Anyway, that's just me. Let's go and check the comments in just a second. But Reefer Madness was kind of like it was originally created, and I think if I read this right, a Christian group had hired to have this movie created. It is notorious for being so bad, but it was supposed to be an anti kind of drug propaganda film, saying how smoking marijuana would lead to all kinds of excesses and bad things. I don't know whether it talked about leading to like just being lethargic and hungry. But hey, in any case, it talked about some of the evils, but I think in time it became a bit of a cult classic for how truly Ed Wood like bad it was, and not to be confused with Ed Brown. Ed Wood like production and kind of how bad it was. Now, I remember, I think I did see this Reefer Madness musical version. It starred Christian Bell and Nev Campbell and Christian Campbell and some others, I think, were in it. Oh, Anna Gasteyer. Okay, Stephen Weber, Alan Cummings. I believe I saw it, but it does not stick with me. You know me. I hate musicals, and except for Fame and oh, and maybe Hamilton and of course I did love The British Showman. Okay, so but as a rule, I'm not a big fan of the musicals, but I think I did see this. It's just not sticking out in my memory right now, and I apologize. But hey, this trip was a road to your 420 and pot in pop culture. I'm sure there are tons that I forgot. Oh, hey, Scooby Life, how are you? We were just winding down the road of pot and pop culture and how things are going. Let's get back to some of these comments because I missed some of these, and I'm upset too that I did not have half baked on my list. That's a faux pas. That's a Kenny like faux pas on my part. I half baked should have been in there. Also, Ed is letting us know. Uh, I know it's a cannabis discussion, but I would be remiss if I did not mention the drug usage of Ellis from our favorite. Oh, see, he gets me to say it every time because I'm reading his comment. All I saw it was a comment from Ed, so I threw it up there, and now I have to get caught saying from our favorite Christmas movie, Die Hard. Okay, there you go. Clip it up. Have a ball. Shorts. All. Just that last part. Our favorite Christmas movie, Die Hard. Our favorite Christmas movie, Die Hard. It's going to have to be my favorite Christmas movie now. Oh, if we do Christmas in July, just saying. Oh, I've seen Rocky. I don't know how many times I've seen. I don't think I've seen it that many times. But here's the thing, Donna. Was it how many times in a theater with props and popcorn, umbrella, the works, with everything going on? Because that would be awesome. Okay. Oh yes. Marijuana was the gateway drug according to Reefa Madness, and I'm still kind of upset I didn't have half baked on my list or Jim Ignatowski from Taxi because I love those good old shows. Even though that like Taxi, I think came out in the 70s or was it the 80s? Ed will help me out on that. But wow, um, that kind of blows my mind. It blows my mind to think that songs from 1985 are turning like 40 this year. Doing that 40, like okay. Anyway, so something like a show from Taxi that might have been 1975 would have been a good, 50 years. Man, funny how time flies when you're having fun. Speaking of fun, it has been fun. It's been a little weird to be here without Kenny to guide me and rein me in, but I so appreciate those of you who stopped by and hung out with us. Happy Easter to those of you who celebrate He is risen. And also, oh, what? Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I got to go back to this. I was about to do the close off, but Donna is saying every time I went was in the theater. Uh, I took Dan for his first time. Oh wow! He had never seen Rocky Horror in the theater. Ow. I think the first time I saw it was in a theater, and I think I don't think I partook of the wacky wheatus, but I did have the alcoholus, and I think I fell asleep before the end of the movie. I was not in such a good place. I'm trying to think who was I with. I can't remember, but yeah. Uh, but with all the props and everything that was going on, I felt left out because the only part I knew was the segment that appeared on the movie Fame. So I knew how to do the time warp, and that was it. And evidently, that's everything. And okay, 73, the 83 was Taxi. Wow. wow, 78 rather, to 83, I think was the run of Taxi. Ed is letting us know there. Ed is the fact checker, man. He is the fact checker. All right. Oh man, thank you so much, Lisa. As I'm wrapping up, uh, uh, see, I was able to do it solo. See, and you too. He is risen. Enjoy your night on purpose. He was. Oh, I didn't know that he was Canadian. Okay, all right. I wonder, did they do the same stuff we did with Rocky Horror up in Canada? I don't whether they had the That's right. Because when I saw it in the theater, I was definitely a virgin. That was part of the fun of going to see Rocky Horror for the first time if you are a virgin. Anyway, next week we're talking about some of our favorite characters, TV characters that we want to hang tight with. And after that, I think is May 4th. So, what would the show be about on May 4th? Hmm. Yeah, exactly. So we'll be talking all things Star Wars, or Kenny will be talking all things Star Wars. He'll probably have to bring in, my nephew and his son George, because they probably know more Star Wars, off the top of their heads than I have in my little pinky. I I'm sorry, after the originals, I never really dug in, but maybe I'll watch them before we get there. Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me all by myself. And I appreciate you guys so much for coming by, for giving the thumbs up, for making the comments. So appreciate you. We are Pop Culture Kids. We will see you next week. And as always, in parting, we wish you love, peace, and pop culture. Bye, guys. Oh, it would help if I hit the right button.
Kathy and Kitty here to say, pop culture fun in every way. Music, TV, movies.
Thank you for
so
geeking out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.